name is Moncano, interviewer from Murray Middle School. I'll be interviewing a couple of students from Mexico City. Here comes a student now.
Sure, I'm Jacqueline. I moved here when I was 4. I used to live in Texas.
Explain why Mexico City is so rapidly expanding in population.
They're forced to move into the city because they no longer make enough money to sustain their families. This quick expansion is terrible for traffic, housing, and people that come here for new opportunities and jobs are finding that there aren't many jobs left.
Hey! Predict how the inequalities of Mexico City will affect the children and families living there in the future.
Well, the inequalities here, I guess, have created a sort of gap in the two societies. Like the impoverished people think that that's how life is lived, and the higher up people, the haves, I guess, think that that's how their life should be lived, and so that's how their children are going to think that their lives are supposed to be lived, and then this equality is going to affect people's way of thinking.
Wait! Can I ask some questions?
Sure, I'm Aaron.
Can you please explain some problems happening in Mexico City because of the rapid urbanization?
Yeah, since there's so many people coming to Mexico City, there's a lot more kidnappings and murders. Well, because there's not a lot of housing, and then that means a lot more people on the streets, and then they can't get jobs, and it's creating inequality and all that. And traffic.
That was awkward.
And it takes 5 hours. Normally it probably takes 15 minutes to get to school. It takes 5 hours from home to school.
One last question for one last kid. So, can you explain about the haves and have-nots of Mexico City? The haves are they are like the middle and upper class. They have houses with balconies and marble and gates and stuff, and they can afford lots of luxuries. What about the have-nots? The have-nots are the lower class, and they live in houses like cinder block and cardboard and tarps and stuff. They live around the outskirts of the city, and they don't have any money, and they rummage around.
Landfills.
They rummage around the landfills and stuff. Yep.
The majority of the expansion is coming from commercial farming taking the jobs away from everyday farmers just trying to make a living for their family. They can no longer provide, so they move to the city in order, looking for new opportunities. But since the expansion's happening so quickly, businesses aren't able to produce enough jobs for all the people moving in.
The futures of the families in Mexico City depend on what class they are born into. The people born in the upper class usually stay in the upper class all of their lives. The people in the lower class, or the poor people, usually stay poor or in the middle of the middle class for the rest of their lives. So it really depends on where they're born, what class they're born into.
And urbanization is overcrowded houses, traffic, little job opportunities, and a lot of homeless people.
Can I get in the video?
Murders.
Sure. The haves can afford the luxuries, the have-nots cannot.
They deserve an A.
What are you guys doing?
What do you think we're doing? Oh my god, I'm mad. I'm a manager.